Hey guys, welcome back to the Detail Garage. Today we have this 2016 BMW M4 in the shop, and as you can see it has this nice cool gray finish, which is actually a wrap. So I'm going to be showing you how to properly wash and maintain this without degrading the finish. But before we do that, we're going to jump on the dirtiest area, being the wheels, and that's because brake dust, road grime, and all kinds of filth collects on the wheels because when you're driving, all kinds of things just collect on there, and it's actually degrading the finish. So we're going to get that off there without scratching it, because you can't even tell that these wheels are actually glossy because of the amount of grime that's on the surface, because all that brake dust is embedding the finish and it's just giving it this cloudy look. So we're going to start by rinsing it down, and then we're going to use our 3 gerbil wheel brushes to safely pull off any kind of grime that's on the wheel without scratching. And then we're going to jump on the tire by taking off all this previous dressing using our stiffy blue brush. That's going to remove anything that's on the surface or embedded the pores of the rubber, because any kind of old dressing, especially oil-based, will sling up on the paint job, and that's where you get all these little specks from. So we're going to take that off there. So to get started, we're going to rinse it down, and then we can move on to the rest of the detailing process. So now that I've just finished rinsing down the wheel using our fire hose nozzle, it's taking care of anything that was on the surface, especially that looser, heavier brake dust. Now we can get into the more intricate areas like the barrel, the spokes, and also the lug nuts using our gerbil brushes. And that's going to get this wheel perfectly detailed. So I'll start by placing a dirt trap into our bucket. This is strictly just a freshwater bucket for rinsing, so they don't bring any of that brake dust back on the wheel. And then we're also going to help agitate anything that's on the surface using our sticky citrus wheel gel. That's going to help emulsify and also trap anything that's on the surface so we don't scratch it, because it creates lubricating bubbles that help loosen and also soften anything that's on the surface, so we can easily take it off and get this wheel looking its best. So you can use this on any kind of wheel finish. You can use it on OEM painted matte wheels to get them looking their best, to get off any kind of water spots, brake dust, or road grime. And we're also going to start off by spraying our biggest wheel gerbil, and then starting at the top of the wheel, getting all the way to the back, all the way down the barrel for a perfectly clean wheel. So now by using the biggest wheel gerbil, it's taking care of all the loose brake dust that's all the way to the back of the barrel. Now we're going to move to the medium-sized wheel gerbil, so we can get all of the crevices, the spokes, and all that kind of good stuff where you couldn't get the bigger brush into. We'll just spray it again for added lubrication and cleaning power. We'll slide it in between here. This is an area where a lot of brake dust collects, and then over time it can actually start pitting and degrading the finish, so we want to make sure we get all that out of there for a perfectly detailed wheel. So you can see that the medium-sized wheel gerbil did an amazing job getting between the spokes and also between the caliper and the barrel of the wheel. This is an area where it's hard to get big brushes in there, especially to get it completely detailed. So by using a natural wool brush, it took care of all that brake dust to get a nice and clean wheel. So now we're going to move on to the last brush, and this is the smallest of the gerbils. And again, we'll spray it down with some sticky wheel gel, and this just helps to give it more lubrication, also added cleaning power, because anything that's on there is still going to be corrosive and it can still scratch. So you want to have as much lubrication as you can, but it'll work well to get the lug nuts. You can also get the little emblem here, and also it's great for detailing the actual caliper, because it's hard to get a brush in between here, especially behind the spokes. So you can clean the top here all around without scratching the painted finish of the caliper. So now this wheel is looking really good. We're going to move on to our final step of cleaning off the tire using our blue stiffy brush. And I'll just spray it down the tire one last time with some more sticky citrus wheel gel to loosen up anything that we might have pulled off of the rim or any of that previous dressing. And we're going to start scrubbing it to get this whole tire looking its best. So now this tire is looking really good. We're going to finish it off by rinsing it down, and then we can take it inside and continue the rest of the detailing process. And if you guys don't believe me, take a look at this bucket. This is just disgusting. So we're moving right along with the detail on this BMW, and as I mentioned earlier, this is actually a vinyl wrap. So what I'm going to show you is the proper techniques and the products you're going to need to keep your wrap looking its best, because this is just a protective layer of vinyl that's very thin, so sun rays beating down on it or things that are actually deteriorating the surface like tree sap, bird droppings can actually cause it to peel and fade over time. But by using wrap detailer, you spray it right on the surface, and this is going to help rejuvenate the wrap as well as protect it over time. So you can use this on your wrap, you can use this on glass, you can use it on your wheels. It's a quick detail spray that picks up any kind of loose dirt, debris, bird droppings, or tree sap, maybe even water spots, to bring back that ultimate finish. And you can see there's just that light layer of dust on there. Although this car looks really clean, there's actually things that are on the surface that can actually harm the finish. So we're going to get it all cleaned off and protected, and then we're going to move on to the interior. So real quickly, I just wanted to mention the towel we're using. This is our Happy Ending towel, and it picks up anything that's on the surface without scratching it, because this is a very sensitive finish. So you want something that's going to be nice and plush, so it picks off anything that's on top of the paint without scratching. So I'm going to finish off the rest of this vehicle, and then we can jump on the interior. So one of the last steps of our detailing process is we're going to clean the interior of this BMW. We're going to start by vacuuming it because that's where all the loose dirt and debris is at. And then we're going to help protect and clean the leather by using one of our products. But to start off, I just want to mention this. Whenever you're using your vacuum, you want to make sure that the edges aren't sharp, because typically when you drop your vacuum, the plastic edges tend to either get scraped and then pieces of the plastic become very sharp. And if you run that on your leather, which is very sensitive, it can cause scratches or tears, which are very hard to repair or replace. So you want to be very careful when you're working with sensitive surfaces such as leather. But we're going to go ahead and vacuum the seats, the carpet, and then we'll move on to the cleaning process.